Welcome back to Legacy Masters, hosted by Next Level Games in Dandenong. I'm Tom Sullivan, aka Sully, and I'm joined by one of the amazing MTG Goldfish writers, Sean Brown.
Oh, you flatter me so much.
So today we have in round 6 on our left Brendan Watson on Rug Delver, who took out the Vintage Masters.
On Unpowered Blue-Red Delver.
Unpowered, which I was extremely excited about. And on our right, we have our one and only TCM, Matt Larcombe, on Regret, aka Omni-Attack.
Yeah, the deck he sleeves up when he wants to win, so he says.
Yes.
Matt Larcombe, well known for his multitudes of brews that he loves bringing, but when he kind of wants to punch people in the face, he brings a Sneak and Show. So this is, of course, the Sneak and Show variant that incorporates the Omniscience Wish package. So it trims down on a few things, like only 3 sneak attacks and a few things like that.
Yeah, it's essentially a 3-3-3
kind of configuration
build.
Yep. Brendan Watson, on the other hand, pretty spicy. Here, compared to Sin's, Canadian Threshold, Hooting Mandrills things, Brendan Watson on really traditional Rug Delver. 4 Delvers, 4 Mongoose, 4 Tarmogoyf, and just your usual Daze Force of Will cantrips. Interestingly, probably the biggest change he has is only 5 removal spells, 4 Lightning Bolt and 1 Fork Bolt, and importantly, 2 Flusterstorms in the main deck.
Yeah.
So that's going to be huge, I imagine, in this matchup against a combo deck like Sneak and Show, because Flusterstorm is, of course, designed to fight against a combo, and that's hopefully what Brendan, I guess, his plan will be. So Matt shuffling up, looking like he's mulling to 5. So again, sometimes these Sneak and Show decks can have a bit kind of non-functional hands. We saw Ancient Tomb in one of those hands there, which might have been not great with a lack of blue sources. This hand also not looking great. A pile of blue cards and a City of Traders. So it looks like Matt's going again back to Mulligan Town. Yeah. So
Just seeing Larcombe's list, he's got a one-of split decision.
yeah, so split
What's
decision
that
is
for
used.
it in?
So Cunning Wish, when you have to kill it instant speed with a Cunning Wish, you need to be able to go Cunning Wish. So Omniscience in play. Maybe they put some random thing that's going to disenchant your Omniscience or something like that. So you have to kill it instant speed. So you can Cunning Wish for Firemind's Foresight.
Yeah.
Firemind's Foresight can get you a Brainstorm, a Split Decision, and a Cunning Wish. You cast Cunning Wish and Split Decision your Cunning Wish to be able to to Cunning Wish twice. So you can cast Aladamri's Call and release the ants. So your
Yeah.
Aladamri's Call for your Emrakul, Brainstorm it on top of your library, release the ants until you kill your opponent.
Yeah, that's amazing.
So that's the kill, that why the Split Decision is there, to go with that instant speed kill. So Larcombe here has a bit of a medium hand, has an island and brainstorms. I think this was a turn 1 brainstorm here. He's really desperate to fix his hand, so I can see him playing around Daze. Brendan Watson, the boy, starts off with one of my favorite plays in all of Magic.
Yeah, in turn 1, Nimble Mongoose.
Correct art, Nimble Mongoose as well. I love the Odyssey art. Therese Nielsen, Odyssey art. Gotta love it. Then
So you're not a fan of the
the
new
Eternal
art?
Master one is also nice. He's very nimble in
Yeah,
that art, isn't he? This one doesn't look very nimble, to be honest. He's like a hungry mongoose, just
Yeah.
biting down on the snake. So I mean, the new one is very nimble.
Yeah.
So that's something.
Commenting on Larcombe's choice of islands there. What set's that from?
These I know these actually, they look like dull Ravnica ones, but they're not. They're actually promo ones.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
DCI promo.
they're DCI promo ones. I forget which ones.
That's cool.
Not dull Ravnica, I promise. All right, battle. Attack with my 1/1. Here we go.
It will get there. It will get there.
So here, though, Brendan's hand is actually not particularly great. It has some cantrips and 2 red cards, 2 Lightning Bolt and a Fork Bolt.
Yeah, it does look
And
like a fork bolt.
That's not very good against Sneak and Show. You want as few red cards in your hand as possible, really, and just want early creatures, some cantrips, and counter magic. And I'm sure that's what he's looking for here. I think he's keeping with that Ponder, and I think he's drawing a Flusterstorm. Yeah, so that's his
Yeah.
altered Flusterstorm
Oh, beautiful.
that he has there. So I think it's full art, and you can see all the kind of zany, flustery goodness on the border extension there. So that's a really good pickup. I think the rest of his Ponder was pretty medium, but that Flusterstorm, of course, is a combo killer. So I definitely like grabbing that one there.
Cunning Wish and Force of Will.
Well,
from that
Larcombe's just kind of
pre-hand.
scrambling here and trying to make his hand functional. He doesn't have really much of anything going on. I think he has a show and tell. So he's looking just for, either a Gristlebrand, Omniscience.
He has an Intuition as well in hand.
So he's looking for another land. Looking for another land then to fire off that Intuition to be able probably to find 3 Gristlebrands and get the ball rolling. Because Rug Delver a lot of the time can't beat a 7/7 life linking flying thing.
Yeah.
Like you don't even need to draw cards. Just attack with your giant black Baneslayer Angel and you'll be fine. Alright, so I think Brendan picked up a Volk there. He's got a Wasteland, which is looking a bit embarrassing in the face of these 2 basic islands. He's attacking with the 1/1 again. And here, now the clock is starting to get a bit aggressive. Tarmogoyf joins the party. And I think the Goyf is not... It is a 3/4 Goyf. So we have instant, we have a sorcery and a land.
Yeah.
No, these combo matchups, creatures tend to never hit the bin. So Goyf usually ends up just being a bad Delver of Secrets. But gets the job done.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of Goyf these days. The price is also coming down a lot. There just seems to be a lot better threats out there these days.
Like True Name and things like that.
Yeah.
Fatal Push definitely, hit him on the noggin a bit in terms of his playability. I mean, he's a 2-mana big dude that gets answered by a very efficient 1-mana spell.
Yeah.
Isn't kind of the place where you want to be, but there's a certain joy in attacking with your big dumb green idiot.
Yeah, no, totally respect it.
Brendan, I bet, feels this really cathartic feeling inside of him as he casts this Nimble Mongoose and just attacked with his Tarmogoyf. These are the simple pleasures of life.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. So we actually have a lot of beatdown going on here. Nimble Mongoose and a Delver of Secrets. So Matt's on a really, really fast clock here. So he, I think...
5 points of damage, 6 points of damage. So he's on a 2-turn clock.
Yeah, so if these Goose can get threshed soon, which may occur with a Wasteland on himself, that might be able to steal away the game. I could see Brendan here flusterstorming something just to get threshed, then fork bolting next turn, and then wastelanding himself, getting to 7 and attacking for lethal.
Or Brendan could just get really good and reveal a instant or sorcery and have lethal on board by flipping his Delver.
That too. I think this is going to bite something. This might bite a Flusterstorm. This is interesting. The Cunning Wish. Matt could be looking for perhaps a Kozilek's Return, but he's short a red source. So he could be looking for, say, a Kozilek's Return to sweep away the board, but I don't think that's really achieving much. He really needs to win. He needs to win on the spot against this board. So that's...
So... What do you reckon he grabs out?
What's he got in his sideboard as tutor target? He's got Firemind's Foresight, Flusterstorm, Intuition, Kozilek's Return, 1 Pyroclasm that he can't wish for, Red Elemental Blast, a Release the Ants, a Sudden Shock, a Surgical Extraction, a Through the Beach, a Trick Bind, and a Wipe Away. So I think Matt's looking hard at the Wipe Away.
Yeah.
Not sure if that's a great one here.
So it does have...
Split second.
second.
So it's uncounterable, but what's he going to wipe away? The Tarmogoyf? The Delver? If the Delver flips, he can still just die.
Yeah, it's hard. It maybe buys him a turn.
I mean, Matt's in a very tough spot here. He really needs to be able to combo. So the Delver flips as well, which basically makes this not a great spot to be in.
Yeah, this is exactly 8 points of damage.
I actually don't mind Brendan not firing off the Flusterstorm on the Cunning Wish there. Because usually with the Cunning Wish, of course, you want to counter whatever is going to be cast next after it. But Wipe Away is... I mean, it's a heads-up play from Matt. The Wipe Away does get through any counter magic. Yep, so the Delver flips. And it looks like Matt is going to wipe away on upkeep, I think.
Oh,
Draws the Force of Will.
Maybe
Again,
it wants
wipe
to
away
say-
wipe away uncounterable, so doesn't matter that much. Yeah, so I'm not sure. I felt with Rug Delver, you often want to cast your sorceries and things like that in your first main phase, because if there is some kind of stack fight, you want to be able to.
Fork bolting in
No, this is his second main phase.
second main, yeah.
This is his second main phase. So he's fork bolting, Larcombe.
Well, this could be just before damage.
No,
Yeah.
so I think. So there
Oh,
might
it is,
be.
yeah.
I think we might have missed some. Might have missed some fetch damage, and that fork bolt is actually lethal. From what I know.
So there's being attacked by 5, 8 going down, so he should be on 1.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I don't know how I feel about this Force of Will on the fork bolt.
Oh yeah, that would.
It's a very aggressive Force of Will. Unless it was, yeah. Anyway, Matt scoops it up. He's dead to the board anyway. But yeah, I definitely think with Rug Delver, you have to be very aggressive with your counter magic, especially when you're relying on your nimble mongoose. You really need to get aggressive. Fire off your sorceries, as I said, on your first main phase. There might be a stack fight over them. Imagine if he cast the Fork Bolt, Matt Force of Willed, and then Brendan Flusterstorms back. And then he can Wasteland himself, and then he has Threshold and kills him.
Yeah.
So definitely, as I said, there's very small interactions with Rug Delver like this that are kind of might not be so obvious.
So he's probably bringing in 2 defense grids, I imagine.
Yep, defense grid is incredible against Rug Delver because defense grid shuts off. Rug Delver, unlike the other Delver decks like Bug or Grixis that can interact with discard, Rug Delver only interacts on one axis, counter magic. Just a lot of counter magic. But defense grid essentially turns all those off.
Yeah, he's also looked like he was also bringing in a Kozilek's Return and a Pyroclasm.
Yeah, it's interesting. He might want to save the Kozilek's Return for his a sideboard Wish target, but then again, it might be a bit too slow to go Cunning Wish, then Kozilek's Return, and he might be happy to bring both the Kozilek's Return and the Pyroclasm he has in his sideboard to mop up anything. But I definitely think those are going to be great choices to bring in.
And it looks like he's taking out Preordains.
Yeah, so Preordain is usually kind of the ones to cut. I also wouldn't be surprised if he cuts 2 Gitaxian Probes, since your life is at a premium here. So looking at Brendan's deck, we see him with 2 Pyroblasts, 2 True Names, 2 Graph Digger's Cage, 2 Sulfuric Vortex, 2 Submerge, 2 Rough Tungle, 2 Ancient Grudge, and 1 Umezawa's Jitte. So the cards that are very obvious are the Pyroblast. That one's already very good.
Yep.
There's a few more sketchy ones you can bring in. So Sulfuric Vortex is actually an interesting choice against Sneak and Show. You can put it in off a Show and Tell, and then if they have a Gristlebrand, it essentially turns the Gristlebrand from gaining life off. So if you've pressured them enough, it means that they actually can't even draw cards. So it's an option, maybe a bit sketchy. There's a lot of cards Brendan has to take out of his deck, though. He has 4 Lightning Bolts, 1 Fork Bolt that he probably will be cutting, and probably maybe cutting some Tarmogoyfs as well. You don't want to tap out and die. What happens.
Could you keep the bolts in so that just in case Larcombe pays life with his Gristlebrand, gets close enough to just double bolt or something like that?
So the bolts, against combo decks, bolts are terrible if you open them in your hand.
Yeah, good point.
Right? They're basically blanks.
Yeah.
They're only great in kind of the mid to late game when they become time walks, if that makes sense. They turn, they shave turns off the clock, and you can leave some in, right? I think some omni-tell lists also have Grim Lavamancer and things like that in the sideboard, which, may reason you having the lightning bolts. But really, I mean, it just goes to the old kind of sly concepts of stuff, right? Usually one of the better damage sources you want in Magic is a creature.
Yeah, it's just consistent.
Why cast 1 lightning bolt when my Delver is going to be a 1 mana investment that bolts my opponent every turn?
Yeah, exactly.
So it depends how many things he needs to cut, though.
But looking at Brendan, he did bring in True Name Nemesis and Ancient Grudges, I've seen.
Ancient Grudge is pretty heads up. Yeah. True Name Nemesis is interesting. Show and Tell on turn 1 from Matt Larcombe, though. But Brendan Watson passes the test with flying colours, with his force of will, which Matt has basically... He doesn't have a counterspell back, but maybe he can follow it up with another... Looks like there's another show and tell in his hand. So that might get followed up.
Yeah.
But Brendan's hand is stock of it's full of counter magic. Plays a Lotus Petal to play around Daze, which is nice. He fetches, and here we're going to see...
probably a Volcanic Island.
I reckon he might just get an island.
Yeah.
Oh no, it goes for the Volk, right? Not playing around Wasteland because I think he's just expecting to win now.
Yeah.
To be honest. I mean, this is the power of Sneak and Show, right? It has these I'm just gonna shove kind of moments. And here though, Brendan just has Spell Pierce.
Yeah, Spell Pierce. He was trying to play around. Oh wow! He was trying to play. It looked like he was playing around the Daze, but it just worked a bit better.
Now it works anyway, right? So Larcombe tried to play around the Daze. Brendan just had a handful of counter magic, and this is where Rug Delver really shines. He draws Delver, the perfect draw to follow up after this exchange. He's likely going to either deploy the Delver or maybe set it up with a Ponder. I like just jamming a Delver.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Again, see the more satisfying things in life. Why do you need to cast these 3-mana show and tells? Do all this rubbish when you can just attack with creatures. So satisfying.
Yeah, it is. It really is. And he just drew the Nimble Mongoose.
Yeah.
Instead of flipping the Delver, unfortunately.
So
but it's still good.
Opts not to Ponder because he also has a Flusterstorm in hand.
Yeah.
So Brendan with a really, really stacked hand here, which is lovely.
And he's very patient, which is really good.
Yeah. So here, now he has the chance to Ponder while being able to hold up spells. I think he's leaving the Brainstorm
in the second, so I think he's drawing the fetch land.
So he's drawing the fetch land. So this is good. He's drawing the fetch land. He has another fetch land in hand, but that doesn't matter because he's going to be able to draw Brainstorm, flip the Delver with that. Then he can crack his fetch, Brainstorm if he wants to, and then get rid of that the third card, which is another land, and then he can crack fetch again to get a perfect Brainstorm. So it's looking really good. But of course, honestly, I wouldn't even fire off the Brainstorm. I just hold it in my hand.
So Threshold is now active.
Yeah, it looks like he needs Threshold though, actually.
Yeah.
So this sequence though, as I said, so if you're going for this sequence to get the Goose threshed, I would first fetch, then Brainstorm, then fetch again, rather than what Brendan has done here, which is double fetch. But maybe he's just leaving the Brainstorm in hand because I think he has exactly Threshold just off the fetches. So no Brainstorms need to be cast. The best Brainstorm is one that is never cast.
Yeah.
But here it is getting cast.
Okay, so he does cast it.
Yeah. So here it looks like he's hit a bunch of blue cards.
Wasteland. And a Misty Rainforest goes on top.
So this is another reason why you should avoid kind of playing both your lands. As I said, the line of crack fetch, Brainstorm, and you hit a Wasteland, then you don't waste your land drop on playing, a tropical island or something that is actually doing nothing.
Yeah, exactly.
So, and that works much better because the Flusterstorm isn't actually going to constrain Matt's mana if he has, say, Show and Tell. Looks like he's dead on board anyway. So Rug Delver getting work done. That was a real punch in the face to Sneak and Show. The little ruggers, the true heroes of the story against the Big Daddy Gristlebrands. It feels quite lovely.
Yeah, it's probably the powerhouse of the decks, playing these amazing omni-attack versing Delver. Two tier 1 in my eyes.
I don't know. Rug Delver has really fallen out of favor, but
just Delver variants.
Yeah, Delver variants are always going to be a tough matchup for these Sneak and Show decks. They're trying to resolve these big clunky 3-mana spells, and I think if Delver can get on board very fast, which Brendan was able to do, there's not much time for the Sneak and Show decks to be able to beat.
Yeah.
Anyway, I guess we'll wrap up that 6th round there.
Yeah, thanks for tuning in, and stay tuned for round 7.
Yeah.